Welcome everyone. Today we have a Wolcen guide for a poison build. Yes, let's get into the skills and I'll show you guys a demonstration of this build. Then we'll get into the details as to my perks and also the choice of items. I'll explain those as well. So, firstly we have the Wings of Asher, which this allows us to jump, and with my perk we can jump multiple times. And followed by that we have the buff and rage regeneration with Sovereign Shout, and with my perk we can regenerate stamina, and this allows me to jump again. Pretty mobile, and we got lots of buffs: movement, attack speed, block rates, increased damage, etc. Our first set of debuff for stasis and also poison will be the Death Gazer. Very nice, very quick and very efficient. And what this allows us to do is debuff enemy for double poison effect and double damage over time with the status perk we have. The first set of AoE clear is going to be Phantom Blade. This blade goes out white, and this blade allows us to debuff enemy twice or even 4 times depending on the number of enemy hits, because these have 2 poison stack and 1 bleeding stack at a pretty decent chance of 29% and 47%. Lastly, our source of focus single target poison branding will be the Gunslinger brand. I tried other spells. I think this one is by far the best, because we're at 50% rate of poison stacks and you just fire 10 times and fire again, and that's 30 times. So you can quickly fire about 40-30 times and you stack all the poison onto the enemy, and we can have up to 30 stacks. And choice of potion will go with rage potion and health potion. One is that we don't have that much HP because the gears I found was just random gears from the other accounts, from the mages, from the rangers, and also because of the few unique I decided to choose here, which is not necessary, to boost a bit of the damage just for testing. The downside is we don't have enough HP, but we do have a bit of lifesteal. So get right into it. We see monsters, we debuff them, we throw the shuriken, and they should be gone. And those monsters have about 70k HP. So let's try that again. And let me see if we can find them elsewhere. So with the normal monsters, we don't even have to do the... we just debuff them. Let them just die. So yeah, we don't even have to do the Phantom Blade here. But when there's more monsters, we can group them up, we can jump around. By the way, when I jump, I also stun. So give them a throw. And if it doesn't work, if it's a big one, we'll just finish that. That was the third 380k monster, by the way. So throw one. Pretty much we do a lot of damage over time. And it's a little strong at the moment, I feel. At least. So this is a pretty tanky one. Let's see how it fares. So that was 1.2 million. I think in about 3 seconds time, we did 1.2 million DOT damage. Poison damage, that is. And by the way, when we jump, we stun. So we stop them non-stop. Yep, we just give them a shuriken and they're gone. So mobile, and if I need more stamina to jump, I do spend stamina to jump now. And it's a fun one, because you regen so much rage as well. They're gone. Even when I jump, I also have a chance of proccing poison and bleeding. And oh yeah, that's right. When we roll, okay, this is the right one. When we're actually rolling, we'll be actually getting a special boost, either to block rate or to the attack damage, which have a chance to crit, or let's shot again. Okay, we need to stop jumping. Give them a shuriken, and they're gone. So, oh, what's this? Is it a chest? Let's give it a try. So this should be a cursed chest. No, it's a 100% alarming damage. Oh my gosh. This never works on any build, but this one. Well, this will be interesting. Let's see if I can find a boss, and let's see how much we do. And a way of regenerating HP is with health globes. It might sound a little funny, but the health globes does help us regen health. Okay, I did spend a little too much there. I think they wouldn't last anyways. Yeah, health globe is a way. Okay, there's a mini boss, 2 mini boss. Okay, 3 mini boss. Give it all to us. So let's have a look at this one first. Oh, 3 million HP. Oh, this will be a challenge. So get the stacks on. Okay, I should move it around. Hop, skippy hop. Don't block me, guys. Oh, okay. He actually killed. He does have a shield. I'm not sure that shield removes debuff. Because if it removes debuff, that wouldn't be great, right? Yeah, that shield is no good. Well, it does have 3 million HP. Oh, I died. That's a problem. So you can see one small problem with this one is I don't have that much survivability because of my gear. Oh, I killed this one first. I think this one was giving me trouble. This should be quick. Yeah, that was half a million HP. This one doesn't have a shield. I think some of the monsters have a modifier. Yeah, the moment his shield is gone, he's gone. But if he's got a shield, I don't think we can debuff him correctly. That's the only downside. Hopefully they fix that. Let's try this big boss as well. The mini boss, not the big one. So, oh, another one. Let's see. He's not on the shield for now. Of course, I think there's other perks that we can go into. Okay, I think he's stuck to 30 now. Okay, I think he's stacked up. So you can see there's about 10k damage per second that we're stacking, and once we stack 30, well, you know, it's pretty cool. This one has a really good clear with the AoE monsters, simply because, well, you know, poison damage clears really nicely. And this helps you if you're mobile, and that's one of the reasons I went for the mobile set. So he's gone. He's already dead. See? He's already dead. So I'm not sure how the poison ticks, and at the moment I'm still discovering a lot of things. I'm also not sure how the regeneration of HP works, because I'm supposed to lifesteal quite a bit with my perks, and I mean I can go with more perks lifesteal. So let's go back, I'll show you guys the build, and you can see we did fight 2 3 mini monster, and usually the half a mini monster without any special modifier dies really quickly. The 3 mini monster, that one had a special modifier. I think maybe it's resilient to physical, because most of the damage we do is actually physical. So under normal monsters with phase, we do really well because of stasis. This doubles the poison effect damage. Let's get right into the build here. So initially, I'm not sure how much of the ferocity and toughness would do for us. Toughness is for HP and ferocity was for critical damage. I'm not sure if we're actually critting with my ailment damage. So because of that, I went for more toughness and more wisdom. And of course, this is the introductory to poison builds, and I'm still discovering a lot of things. I do hear that with the new patch, we're gonna see the stats of poison, which shows damage over time, which will be very good. So right into it, we have a lot of toxic damage, we have pretty high poison chance, and followed by that, we have 7% attack leech, and we have a bit of the other leech, global leech as well. So that should help us sustain. But I don't think ailments is actually leeching much of the life. Otherwise, I'll be getting a lot of life back. I should be almost invulnerable. I did get a bit of block chance and block efficiency, which is not much. I have a bit of dodge chance, and that doesn't help that much. Movement speed is not bad, because, you know, we'll get about 7.1 movement speed. With that, what we want to look into is ailment. With ailment, I can't really see a great summary other than that we have 30 stacks with ailment, and we only do 2 ailment here. We do bleeding, which helps us a little bit with additional damage. The major damage source we do will be poison. You can see that poison damage is the highest one with 2000-ish with the chance score, and the damage is not scaled here, which I really wish they show us. So right now, a lot of things are hidden from us, and I can't tell. And one thing I do notice is that bleeding is at 0.5 per second, and poison is at 0.9 per second. Maybe something to do with the damage over time, but I think the shorter it is, the better. I'm not sure. So those are the stats. Let's look at the choice of skills, items, and skill tree. The first up skill, you can see my Winds of Ishmael is actually pretty fun because I lowered its CD to 0 with the stamina cost. 2 reasons. I don't want to be rolling with my current build. I actually want to stay not rolling because I have a perk that gives me a buff when we're not changing the stance of rolling. So because of that, I need to find a way to use my rolls and stamina. And this allows me to, you know, you can see that. Good job, good job. Hop, skippy job. Yeah, that was pretty fun. So with that, I go into a lot of buffs. So here we have the give ourselves increased damage, and here we have the stun chance by jumping into enemies, which, you know, we'll be jumping a lot. And this gives us pretty decent crowd control, unless it's a big boss that we can't stun. We'll also get a buff for each enemy hit, because we'll be hitting a lot. We also get rage regen. What we do notice is this skill gives 130 rage, and you know, if I'm short on rage, I just hop a few times, and the rage comes back very quickly. Followed by that, we have the Salving Shot. This one is a great buff for everything, movement speed, We have the stamina point that's restored by 2, so this means we can jump more. We have the increased buff duration, we have resilience, we have increased health globe generation because we get a lot of health globes from enemies, and also we get the block chance. Followed by that, the effectiveness is increased on this skill. So what we do is mobility, we jump around, and we can call, we get full stamina again, we jump around, and this repeats. Usually you don't run out of it, but if you do, just wait a little bit for the stamina to come back, and also wait for the Salvin shot to come back. So we shout again, get more movement speed, we get more jumps. Pretty mobile. It's similar to rolling, but it's a little bit better, I feel. And I might tweak it on my warrior as well. So the Death Gazer. Death Gazer here is all about the debuffs. So we'll definitely be taking this perk for the status stack, and this allows us to do more damage after 1.5 seconds. Keep in mind, the duration is only 5 seconds, so we always want to spend this one within 4 or 5 seconds interval, so we always debuff the enemy continuously with the status. Followed by that, rage reduction is not bad because this does cause a lot of rage, and Grand Rage, if it's fired at first charge level, yes, this is actually a nice one, because by charging this, I'm actually getting a bit of rage. Look at this, my rage actually goes up a little bit. I mean, it does cost a lot to use it, but the rage is actually going up a little bit. So, something nice. And stamina regen while charging shots, so we might get a bit of stamina, which comes back to more hopping. We get the alignment chance and also alignment damage here. And also we leave a trial in the past for the smaller shape. So what this allows us to do is we apply poison stacks, we also apply status. This is an almost instant cast, and the damage rise if we get the poison off, it's pretty sizable. After that, first set of poison poking spells, and I do like this one because it deals with AoE effect. The only downside is it only has 3 charges. It doesn't kind of like, it doesn't spend much of the resource, which is a good thing, but with only 3 charges, you can't spam it all the time. That's why we'll have the Death Gazer for the focus fire. So alignment damage, definitely want that. We'll leave a trial, so more chance of poison. And here we have additional poison stacks, which is not bad. So we inflict 2 poison stacks, which will be multiplying to 2 if you look at the skill tree. After that, we'll have a bit of slow, because we increase damage on slow units. Lastly, we can hold up to 3 charges. Without this, we only hold up 2. So this spell, with my perk, usually it fires 1 shuriken, now it fires 2 shuriken with a floor that's on poison. So basically, not only I hit an enemy, I also poison floor. So it's a bunch of stack. And unless the boss monster have any way to defend against this poison, this stacks a lot. And what if on the off chance I'm out of stacks and I want to focus on boss? This is when the Gunslinger brand comes in. We have 50% poison chance, and you can get higher definitely. So when enemy suffers a critical hit, they bounce back, and this is nothing big. I don't have any good perks for alignment here. The only source of good perks is that we fire everything at once with the level 47 perk, and here we plus 5 targets. After having those 2, I don't really need critical hit damage. The automatic targeting is very nice because we want to land all the damage. After that, the alignment score is good, and reduction to rage is not bad. So you can see it's a lot of more flexibility. The goal is to apply debuffs and also to survive long enough to kill the enemy. Now, let's get into the skill tree. This is a little elaborate skill tree. I don't think going to add that much, and after testing I took a few hours last night, guys. I took a few hours to test a few things. I thought I want higher damage, but today after trying it out, I think maybe we can adjust for more survivability, and if we survive, the damage will come. So what I wasn't sure is if the spell actually works with global life leech, because sometimes it seems to be working, other times it doesn't seem like I'm getting a lot of life, because they're getting dotted by like 10,000, 100,000 damage per second, and I should be always on 4 life. If Life Leech works, which if we can confirm, I can go with another point on Life Leech. I just put 1 just to test it out. So, what happens when you're leveling? Leveling, I do recommend having the option to respect yourself after you get a certain level or after you get enough damage items. Initially, when you're playing the story mode, you do want to take the offensive path with the increased weapon damage and critical hit damage, and you kind of want to take this set instead of this set I'm taking. This is more for late game for the maximum health and a bit of the reduction to resource used and also more resistance. We'll use resistance quite a bit, and unfortunately I couldn't find a good chest piece or helmet that gives more resistance, and that makes the build a little weaker. To compensate that, I found some of the uniques we had, and that kind of balanced the damage. So if you're going for leveling, I'll recommend taking down this path and going right into the, where are we? Going right into the damage source, which is, it's over here. Yeah, this is the source of damage with the Wargama, and this side has lots of damage, melee damage and that. So you do level up those, and you follow by spinning this third wheel onto the side for the additional rage. So it's a very similar warrior kind of build. You just make sure you get rage over 750, you level up by hitting really hard and killing everything in the story. And once you progress far enough, you can also look towards, other source of perks, and you can go into the, oh, where is it? It's over here. Oh, it's hiding. There is a perk that is green. Yeah, this is one. You can go into the critical hit damage with just warriors. Or you can go with critical hit damage without the ranger units. But if I'm talking about the actual perk for this particular build, so we'll be going for defensive HP building. And after that, we'll go right into the afflictions that have increased additional ailment. This allows us to both poison enemy, also bleed them. Followed by that, we want to increase ailment damage. So all the perks here increase ailment damage. And also this particular one increase the likeliness of stacking with ailment, but increase damage from everything else. Similarly, this small perk is very nice. 50% chance and 25-25 is 100% chance to apply double number of perks. I'll multiply the number by 2. So if my skill here is actually going to apply by 2, and this multiplies, it goes into 4. And this really stacks up the poison very quickly. I did try this one, the Undertaker. I don't think it's good at all. I tried it, it increased the toxic damage by 30% of the poison damage. The globes don't drop that often, and when they drop, it doesn't feel very big for me. So I wouldn't recommend going for this one. I went directly into the side over here. So this is one I took, not because I think it's super strong, but rather I was having a weapon here. My weapon here increased fire damage, and the fire damage increased was actually higher than rend damage. In order to get away from the fire damage, I actually had to remove all the fire and everything else, so we only have rend and toxic. So this is not bad of a benefit. I believe material damage does increase the damage of the toxic and poison we do, even for ailment. So I'm testing a few things. I'm fully focused on material damage for the physical poison and bleeding build here. After that, this one is a pretty nice set of talent you can go into, because by wearing different chest armor and also wearing different helmet, it gives you a special bonus. What we want is we want heavy chest armor, and we also want the heavy helmet. This will give us increased resistance score. Why is that? Because later in the game, we'll come back here with Retaliator. The higher physical resistance we have, the stronger we are, and we increase damage because of that. We also have more perks for more damage with the higher physical resistance. Unfortunately, during my set of, inventory space, I didn't find any of the good heavy armor. Well, we didn't have any ready. So we have both rogue armors, which only increase like life regen and shield regen with dodges, which does nothing. But if I find the heavy armor here and a heavy armor on the helmet, then that will give me much more damage, I believe. Keep going in the skill tree. We can come over here for the damage for rage not spent. This is not a big factor. The bigger factor is just to get some rage regen for kills, and because likely we'll be perking into the frenzied blow, which increase damage with higher rage, it's actually worth it. So this guarantees we'll have enough rage over 750. Followed by that, this is a big perk. This allows us to fire multiple projectiles, and if you notice, both of our debuff spells fire projectiles. This one fires 2 now, and this one fires more projectiles. Oh, so that's a really good perk, and because we won't be doing any of the projectile damage, not that much, this is actually definitely good for us. And this is a massive damage boost in terms of fast debuff and more damage. We went for the perks that increase fire damage, not because it's any good, but I was thinking of keeping my dodge chance, but I don't think it's a good way. So it's really flexible with the small perks. Sometimes I can go for the block rate and also the ailment resistance. I think that might be better than the fire damage, because I don't do that much damage with fire at all. Because fire is converted to physical, while physical helps with our base damage, which is not great. After that, you don't have to go into the talent points, and you don't have to go into Headhunter. I don't think those are game changers, and later if you need to be defensive, 10 points are not bad because they also give us the material damage here, but Headhunter is definitely not worth it. We'll keep going, and this is one part of the build that really wants to take into the time waiver, because we'll be doing damage over time. If we lifesteal, well, we sustain ourselves, and if we don't get one-shotted, that's really important because we'll be hopping around. So with that, what we'll be looking at the Dire Juncture, which is a must pick for most of the builds in the late game, and we'll also take the double stacks of element, so we hit up to 30 elements of stacks. We'll also take which time cannot heal, which is the status effect. By debuffing enemies with this, any of the poison damage is likely to be doubled after 1.5 seconds, and this goes further. So you basically have like 60 stacks of poison that's stacking up. So coming to the Arms Master with the Virtual Stance over here, after we finish the path with Time Weaver, we can look into this because after researching online, I believe this does apply double damage for the elements. And this is a great buff if we can get this going. This is at 10% and 5% more after, so 15% of getting the elements for double damage. And followed by that, what this allows us to do is 2 stance. The first stance is the Probing Weakness stance, which gives us the chance to do double damage at 15%. The second stance, when you roll, you'll have more block chance and more block. So more block chance and more block, it says that. So what that means is basically you have block chance and block efficiency. It wasn't able to add it in. It does reduce your attack and spell power. There's a small bonus for this one, because it does say it reduces all resistance by 25% when you're in attack stance. But if you look at my resistance right now, this is in a block stance. My resistance is at 1300, 580. So if I rolled, my resistance actually goes up by 25%. So I think they might have made a small mistake here. So I'm supposed to lose resistance in getting a chance for more double damage multiplier. Not the critical chance, but another set of double damage. But what this is doing is it's giving me more resistance and also more chance of doing crits. So we'll take that for now. It's not a game-changing bug, but it does help with the damage. Also because we have higher physical resistance, the higher damage we do with the next perk. So this is what we want, and this is when we're going to the physical resistance perk. And basically physical resistance multiplies into more damage for us. After that, we'll be going into a bit of the defensive stance, and I do believe after I change this spec out of those, I'll be getting more blocking and more maximum HP. So you get a 6% block with any weapon because we don't have a shield, and a 20 block efficiency will be your base efficiency. Then you can get more block chances with a few of the perks over here. There's also some really good HP perks we can go into. So why did I leave the tree? Actually, there's one more. Sorry about that, guys. You can come here. What you can do is, at the start, you can curve over here by taking those 3 perks and come over here directly if you want, but you can come here in the end. You don't have to get all those small perks if you don't need it defensively, especially the Headhunter and also the Branded Bust. You can come here very quickly and you can get this particular perk. So you go down here with maximum health, chance you can dodge through enemies, that's just because it was in the way. You get the maximum health again, which is really good with a flat health. And followed by that, material damage is what we want. Poison stack duration, really good. And also poison element damage. And lastly, 50% of the physical damage goes into poison damage. So it's almost everything we wanted. So we're definitely taking this pack. Now, zooming out. Why did I take this much offensive perk? Is because I want to taste the full potential of the poison stack. That's why I took the perk with the chance of dropping green globes, which you saw in the replay. It wasn't that much. And also I went for the Headhunter for more physical material damage. And material damage stands for 3 things. Material damage here, it stands for physical, toxic, and rend. It buffs all 3. So now that after testing, what I think we can do is we can take out those branch, so we get 4 points for free. We can take away the Headhunter, we got 3 more free points. We can go into the additional HP here if we want. Or what we can do is I have been neglecting I have been reluctantly not getting my additional willpower and rage, so I haven't been getting those. I can get those 3 perks for 400 more willpower and rage, and this enables me to guarantee my cast is over 750. So I think that's a big factor on the get. And after that, we can consider any of the perks that give us more material damage or more defensively. So the block raise and the maximum health is actually not bad. So we can take all the resistance ones and all the HP ones. Simply because the resistance ones give us more damage because we get more physical resistance, and this defensively protects us, and this maximum health also protects us. One last thing is to demonstrate, actually, it should be okay. I was going to say one last thing is to demonstrate how good is a heavy set of gear. So, I don't have a heavy chest. That's a little unfortunate. Let me see if I can buy one. So, I want to demonstrate the heavy set of gear also help us a lot. But if I can't find one, then it gets a little awkward. Oh, that's a heavy one. That's good. So, why do I say heavy set of gear is good? Is because this particular perk with the armor and also chest give us more bonus with the resistance. So let's have a look. Because I have resistance multiplier, which I do plan to get more perks of it, if I get those two, my damage should ideally go up a little bit as well, but it will go down simply because the items, which we're looking into now, will affect it. So let's have a look at this. So currently my resistance is this much. We'll put those two on. Look at that. So now we got about 2000, 1500, 1600. So big change in resistance. And this will help the survivability of this character. You can see that we did die once there, simply because I didn't have the correct gears. Those gears came from the mage, came from the archer, and those gears are not tailored towards this build. After that, let's have a look at the set of gears we have. Firstly, we're going to use a single-handed pistol, and this pistol likely should have rend damage and poison damage as attributes. You can roll into 3 sockets with the attack 1 sockets or the offense 1. So once you have offense 1, you can look into the green gem, which give us the poison. So I got 3 of them in because my major source of damage is poison, not rend. After that, boots, pants, belt. Belt you want flat toxic damage, and this one we found toxic damage. Nothing else is good. So went for the toxic chance score with the skill sockets. What I can also do is I can get global life glitch, and I can also get something else which will help us survive. Because right now I think we have enough damage but less survivability, so we can tailor towards that. Definitely want some HP on the pants, HP on the boots, because resistance will be given by the chest and by the helmet. So you want more HP on the pants and more HP on the boots, because we'll have multiple multipliers of more HP. This item is a unique. Yes, it looks pretty nice with the 65 and 1 to 8 toxic, and also this increased toxic damage with this particular weapon. And this one was just found normally, and you could have bought it from the shop. I was offered one in the shop. This weapon I don't think is that strong unless we're building for this build. But on the off chance if you don't have it, just get a dagger with flat poison increase and just get any of the good stats on it, and then socket it in for the flat poison damage like we do here with weapon. Followed by that, the helmets, nothing special. I just took them from other accounts, and those stats are terrible. So what you want is you want more HP on the shoulders, because those shoulders, they don't need resistance. The helmet will cover the resistance and the chest. And you want, defensive stats, maybe toughness, maybe maybe a bit of the conservation of rage if you have yourself under 750 rage, but nothing too requirement here. The helmet. Again, this is a unique helmet, and this helmet itself does not do awfully a lot, to be honest. The health is okay, but not a lot. The ailment damage is what I wanted, but if you remember earlier, we had a lot of ailment perks, and with those ailment perks, 30%, 12%, 50% damage, having another 34% is nice. I don't think it's a game-breaking unique helmet. You can get a more defensive helmet, and even sometimes with chance of block or maybe lich, and that keeps you alive. Followed by that, you can see the unique rings. Those are the highlights, and if you happen to find one of them, I think it's really good for the build. I don't think the rings are unreplaceable, because one small factor is, although you have the poison chance score to poison damage, which sounds great on paper, but it has a really low toxic damage, flat damage. Everything is based on the flat damage. If you get a ring that's about 10 or 20 flat damage, that may be able to compensate what we lack here. And also, because of those are the same unique rings. Because of those unique rings, you actually lose a lot of HP. Why is that? For example, the rings I have previously for the range class and also for the mage, if you look at those two rings, if I put them on, look at my HP, it's 70k now. If I put those back, HP changes, 10k difference. So those rings, although they are offensive, they take away a lot of survivability. So again, it's not a must-have, but I thought it would be interesting to throw it into the build and to see, if we do enough damage and what do we lack of. Lastly, this unique gloves again is an interesting one because my build will be focused on bleeding and poison. I want to try the critical chance and critical damage, but after trying it, it's not a lot because if you recall here, a lot of our perks actually reduce our damage dealt with, this is damage that's not over time, that's -15. A lot of the perks actually reduce our damage dealt. This is another -10, and there is another one over here, -50 for projectile damage. So we're not actually doing damage in terms of critical hit and critical damage. So this is just something for fun. I think this means there's a variety of builds we can build with a poison and bleeding build that can build into offensively. Just simply because you have the stack of poison and bleeding, you can do more damage. So this opens up variety. But the downside is this makes us more squishy. So this is a trade-off. If you have a normal gloves, just go with material damage, flat ferocity, wisdom, or toughness. That should help. And maybe more HP on the gloves, because every bit of the HP will help us quite a bit. Overall, this is a very interesting build, and what we need to keep in mind is you don't want to be rolling a lot because you don't need the block chance and block efficiency that badly. You just want to roll into the propping weakness stance, and this gives us more resistance for now. So you want to be jumping around, hopping around, stay mobile, buff yourself, hop around the turmoil, debuff enemies, and throw a few stacks. You keep the floor poison as well, look at that. So all the floor here is also poison. And lastly, it is possible to replace the Gunslinger with a different set of spells that debuff enemies, but I believe this is the most quicker and consistent way to debuff enemies that keeps you mobile. You can try the turrets, but I think this is still faster than the turrets. Turrets do fire at a fixed rate, and sometimes you will miss the enemy because they will be moving. This way allows you to apply most poison and get that damage over time down. The stats here. Knowing that we do 30 stacks of poison, each stack is doing at least 10k or 13k. This is when I say we do over 300k DPS per second once we maximize the stack. And yes, hopefully you guys enjoy this poison build. You can see that I was a little unsure of what damage added to poison and what are the best perks. I deliberately left the skill tree this way, so you can see I did try to get all the damage perks, but after testing, I realized I need more survivability. This is when we can adjust for it. This is the first version of the poison build. I do plan to go further with a poison build with a new release of the DPS meter, which is on the character summaries, and I do plan to go deeper with different items we find. So as we discover more items, we can tweak this build up, and hopefully we'll be tanky enough to survive, to life leech, and also to do damage over time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide, and I'll be making more guides with builds and tips for Wolcen to come. So please subscribe onto YouTube with Majestic Multigaming, and leave a like on the YouTube videos if you like it. Also, if you're free, if I'm streaming on Twitch, feel free to click on me and say hi. Maybe ask me questions, or maybe, just encourage us to go further with Wolcen. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys next time.